All right, Coach, before we talk about this week, going up to Portland State, you had to be pretty pleased for two halves. Positives, leaving there, coming back on the bus, and getting back to town.
A lot of positives from the game. We obviously played a much better first half. Know we can play better in that second half, but defensively we started to see some of the Humboldt State defense that we've become accustomed to in that first half. Played a very physical game against a very physical team. Offensively, we did some good things. We've got to convert into red zone. We had 4 times inside the red zone, that we weren't able to get touchdowns, and that's critical to our success. So hopefully we can build off of that a little bit and be much better now as we return back into conference play.
I'll get out of the way and have you put on your doctor suit. Updates on both Ricky Dooley and Wyatt.
Nick Riccadulli will return to practice today. His status for the game remains to be seen. We've got to see how he handles practice and starts putting some of that strain. He'll be non-contact today, and if everything goes correctly, then we can have contact tomorrow. Daniel Wyatt's a little further away right now, and still waiting for this ankle to recover. So, it is better news than a week ago, certainly, to get a couple of those guys back. We did lose Gianni Olivas to a potential ACL on Saturday, and that really hurts because he was a senior. We'd already lost Jerry Malawiya for the season and thought that Gianni could come in and help us possibly, and was helping us. But so that's a tough loss for us.
So many injuries in the first couple of weeks. Have you been through this before?
It's part of the game. And I've said it can be a cruel game at times, and yeah, we've had our share. John Rowe started tackles out for an extended period of time with an MCL. We lost Ryan Moreno, starting outside linebacker for the Portland State game. Hope to have him back for this game right here. They do seem to add up, and when you have injuries, you just have some of those years where they come in bunches, and then you go back to number one, we lose Jerry Malawiya for the season, that we knew. But on the very first practice we had, in the first 5 minutes of what was a non-contact practice, Dante Haddock, who we thought would compete for a job at safety, breaks a finger catching a punt, something he's done 1,000 times, and he has to have surgery, and he's out for the year. So it started the first 5 minutes of the first practice, and hopefully we'll get them out of the way early here, start getting kids back at some point. But it will test our depth of our football team, certainly on both sides of the ball. It already has a running back. You saw Ricky Sims and then Sutter Choicera, a true freshman, with carries on Saturday, and now at the safety position, that already was weakened by losing Jerry Malawiya, and then a Dante Haddock the very first practice, now losing a Gianni Olivas. So it does present a challenge, yes.
My last injury question, but have Ricky Dooley come back and practice today. When will the decision be made if he makes the trip and plays this week?
We'll get him through Wednesday's practice and then make that decision. And he was pretty excited yesterday when the MRI results came back and showed that there was no structural damage to the knee. And so he's a tough kid and excited to get back. It means obviously a great deal to our football team. So we're excited and hopeful that he has a possibility of rejoining us.
All right, you can take off your doctor outfit now. And this week, Azusa Pacific, a team seems like always gives you a battle. A team now, the GNAC, they're recruiting crazy like you guys, and it seems like they're getting more and more talent for their team. It's a pretty good matchup for you guys.
It's going to be a heck of a test for us, absolutely. Azusa's a very good football team. They have made rapid improvement with the move to Division II. They were a good football team last year, even when they were coming up on the short end, losing their first 7. But turned it around, won their last 4 all-conference games, including a win against Central Washington, including a win against Western Oregon. And then they've already opened this season with the conference win. So they've won 5 consecutive conference games. They've got a great running back in Watson, who's already run for over 2,000 yards there for their program, one of the few backs to do that. Was the GNAC Player of the Week this past week for his performance in Dixie. They've got a quarterback back and just a solid team. Yeah, it's a rival game, certainly. We look at it that way. I know Azusa does as well. We're the only 2 Division II programs in the state of California. We have a number of our players from Southern California, so it's a chance for them to play in front of a lot of family and friends for one of the few times possibly. And so, but for us, we're in dire need of playing well and getting a win, and it really doesn't matter who that next opponent is. When you're sitting 0-2 like we are, and know that you just haven't played anywhere near the level that you're capable of, you're just excited about that next game. That's the opportunity that we're waiting for, to go out and start performing at a level we know we can. And until you do that, it's not a lot of fun on the Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays during the week with all that. But we're excited for Saturday. We'll prepare properly. Long trip, obviously, down there, but our players will be ready to play.
And obviously your defense is going to be tested again on Saturday. Do you feel a little more confident with your defense now than, say, a couple weeks ago?
Well, they're coming around and coming together, and it's we're still trying to find the right combination of players, and what fits. We've had Sam Foster and Cody Heidebrecht at end. We've had Tommy Stewart and Dylan Huffman inside. We're going to start Cameron Buell, with J.J. Evans, but both will play and have played a lot. And then the outside backer, we've got Andrew Feaster, taking the starting job this week with Taylor Mitchell, and both of them will play. We had Ryan Moreno out last week, and hopefully we'll get him back. And we've had different starters at the corner position over the first 2 games. So we're still in search of the right combination, and the right combination is found by a group that goes out and produces. Really, there's no magic formula to it. You just got to go out and you got to produce.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add, Coach?
No, that's good.
I'm just wondering, defensively, what is the biggest area you're looking to improve upon? Again, you played 2 very high-scoring offenses, but they did put up a bit of a...
Well, they're high-scoring because they played us, I think.
Oh, I don't want to... I'll let you make that determination, but is there an area in defense that you specifically are looking for to improve for you guys?
Our pass rush has to improve, number one. We've got to be able to put more pressure on the quarterback, okay? That's putting our secondary in situations that aren't always healthy. And then our secondary has to make plays on the ball better than we have done. So those 2 areas defensively, I think, are keys to our success. And one feeds off the other. You have to get pressure on a quarterback, not allow him to sit there and sometimes come off his primary, go to a secondary receiver or even third receiver in some situations. So hopefully we can, Cody talked about playing team defense, and really that's what that is. It's one area of the defense, doing their job at a level that makes it a little bit easier for the other part of the defense. And so hopefully we can get more of that. Again, that's what we've had in this program, for the last 4 or 5 years, is a front that can get some pressure and a secondary that would ball hawk a little bit and get after it and force the issue, and we need to get back to that.
And how do you feel about your run defense?
Well, it's going to certainly be tested Saturday with Watson and Azusa's run game. It's very solid. Simon Frazier was a passing football team. Portland State's a running football team, and they were able to, in the second half, get that run game going and cause some problems. It's hard to gauge your run defense when you play the number 1, offense in Division I AA. So we'll certainly know more about our run defense after Saturday, because we have great respect for their running back, their run game at Azusa, and we know that's where they start offensively.
All right, Coach.